Hi guys, and welcome to a new video on Sonal's life. As you can tell by my choice of t-shirt, which is my Switchblade era shirt, and by the title, we have literally, and I say literally, it was about 2 hours ago it finished, had New Japan's Big Dominion show. I was up at 6 a.m. watching it live here, and as always I thought, you know what, it was a phenomenal show, so I have to do a review about it. I'm going to go through pretty much all the matches because they all shine in their own way, the big storylines and what we can expect going forward, because not only were there some huge matches, but there were some huge announcements, and yeah, it was just an amazing show. So let's get going. So as expected, we started the show with some really nice warm-up matches, but there was all reasons for it. So you might have seen it on social media, so follow me at wrestling_chat. I voiced my disappointment that as good as the card for Dominion was, the IWGP Junior and Junior Tag titles were not on the line. And that is because they are coming up in the upcoming week on the New Japan Road shows. As sad as I was, because it basically, I don't know, they said that it's because they want to give the juniors their own platform to showcase, but I feel like it sort of downgrades it. But we did have some lead-up matches. So the opening match was the tag team titles warm-up, so it was the United Empire versus Hontai, so it was Wato, Taguchi and Hiroshi Tenzan versus TJP, Akira and Hanari. A really nice match. It's good to see Tenzan back, not just because of the fact that Manamu Nakanishi came out. Like, I have missed the Monster Mornings, it was great. And yes, obviously Empire got the win, it was Hanari beat Tenzan, but yeah, an amazing start match. Master Wato has come on leaps and bounds, and I'm really enjoying this freshness in the junior tag division because TJP and Akira work very well together, and it is going to be a tough challenge for Master Wato and our Funky Weapon. Similarly, the next match was following on from the Best of Super Junior, so we had the members of LIJ, so Bushi and the Best of Super Junior winner Hiromu and Naito. Oddly enough, Naito was in the second match, versus the Bullet Club trio of, let me try and remember this, so it's Ishimori, obviously the tag champion, Ace Austin and El Fantasma. Again, an amazing match. Like, the funny thing going into this is, yes, you've got the 3 juniors versus the 2 juniors and the heavyweight, but El Fantasma's obviously been hinting that he wants to move to heavyweight, or he wants to be in the G1 at least. And this was a really nice battle between the two. Also nice, I mean, I wouldn't say nice because you know how I feel about Ace Austin joining the Bullet Club, but it was nice to see his interactions as a heel, and also the fact that he has these stakes and Naito seemed like obsessed with him, like he just wanted to know exactly what was going on. So yeah, I mean, I got to see Naito. Hiromu versus Ishimori is going to be great. I'm just sad that it wasn't in this show because I feel like it's always been the IWGP Junior match at Dominion. That's the point. But it wasn't. We then got up to the sort of nitty-gritty of the show. So we had the special singles match versus the amazing Toru Yano, and the first singles match since 2015 for the Bullet Club's Doc Gallows. Now, this whole storyline, basically when Doc Gallows had like a tag match or something, Yano was spraying him with a disinfectant, and obviously, like, not everyone can appreciate Yano's like small quirks. Doc Gallows is not one of them. So they had this match. Going in, like, Yano was hilarious. He was terrified. Rightly terrified. Gallows is a huge guy. Came out, like, started spraying him, saying, come in, like, apologising. And it was brutal. Like, Doc Gallows is huge compared to Yano. And Yano is not, like, exactly a small guy anyway. The match was in the ring, out the ring. There was, like, shenanigans, which Doc Gallows said he doesn't like any of that shit. But it was a really nice match. It was a bit of humour because it's Toru Yano. But it also showed that Doc Gallows, like, he might not have been in Japan for so long, but he, like, belongs here, I guess. Like, as much as I have my issues with the Bullet Club, and you'll hear it ongoing. In the end, shocker. Like, obviously it took a low blow by distracting the ref. Toru Yano got the win. And, I mean, I couldn't be happier because you know how much I love Toru Yano. We then had, I think, one of my least favourite matches of the entire show. And you'll know why. It was the Never 6-man tag champions. So the champions, Sho, Evil, and Yujiro, obviously Dick Togo, versus the Suzuki-gun trio. So my favourite people, Desperado, Kanemaru, and Zack Sabre Jr. Obviously, this was basically earned because Kanemaru beat Sho in the Best of Super Juniors. And I had really high hopes for Suzuki-gun because if anyone epitomizes what the title should be more than like the Chaos Trio, who obviously did phenomenal, is these three. And it seemed to be going quite well. Like, Dick Togo was obviously there, but Zack Sabre Jr. and Death were trying to sort this out, while, crazily enough, the entire match, the only legal men was Kanemaru and Sho. And it just seemed to be doing well, because you can't out-heel, I guess, like, the OG, like, the best heels, including the heel master Kanemaru. I mean, I say that, like, I was like, Kanemaru was doing so well, I was like, yes, we're gonna do it. The crowd was on like bated breath, obviously cheating, blah blah blah. Sho, Evil, Yujiro, Dick Togo won. I mean, I don't know what else I can say for that. The Never titles used to be so prestigious, then they lost it, then they gained it again. This is literally no exception, and I don't know what else I expected apart from a Bullet Club win. The next match was another one I think I was very much on the edge about, because I was very worried. So it was for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Champions. So it was the champions, Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens, versus the United Empire's Jeff Cobb and Great O'Khan. Obviously the whole story was they never actually technically lost the titles when they had the triple threat with Yoshihashi and Hiroki Goto, so the Empire wanted their rematch. Honestly, I can say I was quite surprised. There might have been the odd cheating to start with from Chase and Fale, but it was pretty much a very solid match between them. There was some nice interactions between Cobb and Fale, the two biggest men probably in New Japan, minus Doc Gallows at the moment. Some nice interactions with O'Khan and Chase. All four have very different styles and they meshed very well. And in the end, I think it was this lack of cheating and quite like direct approach to this match that got the United Empire the win. And I think it's much needed, because they had such momentum going into this, like when they were first created, and the title win was perfect, and the idea that they lost it so soon and not even getting the pin wasn't right in my opinion, so it was great. And then we had the break, and basically like leading up to this match, Kevin Kelly had been like, oh, we've got a big announcement. Is it happening now? It happened after this match, I think. And it was the announcement of the G1 participants. Obviously, knowing me, I'm going to have a proper rundown of all those competitors later on, closer to the time. But it is huge, because not only is there, I feel like, a bigger lineup, it is now going to be in 4 blocks. So I think it's 4 blocks of 7, which is something that they've not had since, was it 2000 or 2010? I know it's a big difference. I can't actually remember. But there are some huge names, and it is getting me very excited, because as you can tell from this show, what we had at Dontaku, Best of Super Junior, New Japan is really getting back to pre-pandemic, and it was a really nice way to end the first half of the show. So after that amazing start, bar the never Openweight match, because I think anything that involves like Evil, Yujiro, Dick Togo and Sho, we just like forget about it. We then got on to like the main juiciness of the show. We started with the special announcement. Obviously, if you know what's going on in AEW, CM Punk had to relinquish sort of the AEW title, so there's an interim one, and it's going to be Moxley, and the person out of this match of Tanahashi versus Goto was going to go on to face Moxley later on, I think at Forbidden Door, for the interim championship. You know I love Tanahashi, like he's on my wall and everything, but I just have a massive soft spot for Goto. So going into this match, the Samurai Dad was who I had to win. And the match was amazing. Like, these two have such a long history. I think they mentioned it on the show, but basically back in 2005, when Goto was a young lion, at Christmas, I think, he had a match against the ace Tanahashi. And all these years later, Tanahashi has had 8 successful IWGP World Heavyweight reigns, whereas Goto has had 8 unsuccessful challenges for the title. Careers on complete opposites. But as I expected, it was an amazing match. These two guys have very different styles in terms of Tanahashi is more style and flash with Japanese strong style, whereas Goto is very down to earth, quite strike based, and like both amazing wrestlers. I mean, I was a bit annoyed because my iPad decided to lock literally as the finisher happened. Tanahashi hit the high fly throw for the win. And I am gutted that Goto didn't win, because like I said, Team Goto. But I think it's the right choice, because if they're gonna have Tanahashi go on to face Moxley, and I assume if it's the AEW title, they'll want to keep it in AEW and have Moxley win. I'd much rather like Tanahashi lose, because he doesn't really, it's not going to affect him as much as, for example, Goto gets all this success, goes on to lose, and they're like, again, always a bridesmaid, never the bride. So it was the right decision. Whether I enjoyed the fact that Goto is yet without a IWGP heavyweight or a big major singles title run is something to be desired. But it was another great match and a nice way to sort of link in from the G1, because you could use those stats. So like Goto's won the G1 several times, so has Tanahashi. It's just everything links together like a circle. The next match was the one that I was most excited for. Like, it is the King of Pro Wrestling Championship. Who'd have thought when Okada created it like 2 years ago and they had the first match at Jingu Stadium, I'd have told you that the 10-minute time limit match to see who can get the most pinfalls in points versus the Dragon Shingo Takagi and my Holy Emperor Taichi was probably one of the best matches of the show. There is something about Taichi, who there are certain people who have brought the best out of him, and it has continued, and Shingo is one of those people. When Yano held the title, I loved it, but it was very different. This almost had like a new intensity that never used to stand for. It was, because they always had 10 minutes to get as many pinfalls, and then the amount of counts corresponded to the number of points they got. It was very hard hitting from the very beginning. Rather than like thinking it was going to be a sprint, it was very much a marathon, both men wearing each other down to get the points. Taichi started at an advantage, then Shingo, then Taichi. And in the end, it was really close because Taichi had 5 points and I think like Shingo had like 10. But in like the last minute or so, Taichi managed to hit like his very strong striking offense to get like a 3 count, a 2 count, a 2 count. So they were on level. Literally, oh my god, they were like 1 point apart and it was like 10 seconds. And then as the klaxon hit, Shingo retained and you could see the heartbreak in Taichi's eyes and in my eyes as well. But honestly, like, so many people on social media as I was scrolling through Twitter said like it was a phenomenal match. We need more matches like this where there are time limits, where there is something more than just your normal match. And the fact that King of Pro Wrestling has brought so many unique concepts is something I really enjoy. And let's carry on doing that, New Japan, because King of Pro Wrestling is elevating itself above the Never division at the moment. We then had a title match which had to change a bit. So I think initially it was meant to be Juice Robinson versus Sanada for the IWGP US title, or maybe it was a 3-way, I can't remember. But then Juice got appendicitis, had to relinquish the title because he couldn't attend the show. But they've used it as a storyline. So we then had Osprey versus Sanada. Welcome back Sanada after his injury, which was caused by Osprey. So it's all weird how things come back together. I'm not gonna say it again, but I'm gonna say it again because why not? Sanada versus Osprey is something I will never get tired of seeing. These two are two men who are heavyweights, but could easily be juniors with their style. Very dynamic. Sanada has his submission style, Osprey has his newfound strength, and they just work really well. Their personalities clash, which is perfect. And it was very fast paced. There was no moment where you were left thinking what's gonna happen, but at the same time it wasn't like all speed or all strength. It was a nice mix of it. In the end, Osprey got the win, and I found it funny because obviously Juice has got the title. I think he's still in America. And basically Osprey's like, why are we fighting over this title that's not actually here? That's what I'm saying, New Japan. Where's the US title? It's quite funny. I hope, like, as much as I want Sanada to win, I hope Osprey keeps this title for a while, because I swear this US title's jinxed. I was talking to someone and we just think Tanahashi basically curses titles. He's like, do you know what I mean? Because the US title was one of my favourites. As you can see, I don't know if you can see one of these pictures, it was one of the first titles I ever held when I met Jay White and he had it, and I just want it to return to its former glory. So far we've had some amazing matches, and I've just realised I missed out the Never match between Tama Tonga and Carl Anderson. Sorry, let's reverse that. So before the US title match was the Never match. I wanted Tama to win. Tama didn't win. Anderson did. There was a lot of cheating. It was Bullet Club shenanigans. And the Never title has gone back to a hot potato, all because of Bullet Club. I get it if, for example, Anderson was going to stay in Japan and we were going to see this title. But as I've said, he's not in the G1 lineup. So it's not going to be there. He's probably going to go back to America, and he's mainly in Impact. Is it going to be like when Moxley had the US title, that we've lost the title? Because the fact that we don't have an Intercontinental title, and the fact now we will not have a Never title solidified in New Japan, is kind of getting a bit annoying. We are now to the main event. People have had mixed feelings about that. Cumulatively, everyone is like that. This main event between Jay White and Okada for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship was phenomenal. Some think it was like a standout amazing, some were like, it was a good match, but maybe not one of the best. I personally think it was an amazing match for like the circumstances, the storytelling. Obviously, Jay has not wrestled a match in New Japan like on this scale, I think for like a year. Okada is run down, obviously he's been like the ongoing from the like New Japan Cup and stuff, and he's had the title for a while. He's had like fights in America and stuff. And this is the first time the two have met in what seems like forever. And their feud is literally legendary. Like, started off as stablemates, Jay turned them and took Goto. And at the source of it, it was a phenomenal, pretty clean match. Yes, Goto got involved, like there was a chair, which Jay didn't use because Okada did it, but it started off quite slowly. The two were probably feeling each other out a bit, but like in the final stretch, it was fast. Jay was doing rainmakers, like there was submissions. So you remember the Tanahashi tap out? Well, he did the same to Okada, so I guess it's the Okada tap out. There was flying into the barricades outside, suplexes on the outside. Everything was literally phenomenal. In the end, I think what cemented Jay that he was going to get the win is he managed to kick out of a landslide into a rainmaker. This is almost impossible. He did that, hit a Blade Runner, and he got the win. Jay White is with the title, a huge title again, and I couldn't be more excited. And then all the Bullet Club members came out, and the bit after the promo was probably as strong. So we sort of saw a bit of a babyface Jay coming out. He was like, come on, you're meant to love me, like you cheer for me, let me hear you. Bear in mind, you're not allowed to cheer in Japan yet. It's still not allowed because of COVID. Jay got them to cheer. And then he went, which is quite nice actually. So the stadium they were in was basically where Jay had his last match as a young lion. And during his promo back then, which I'll try and link below, he basically said like, the New Japan fans are like my family. And in today's promo, he went, remember back when I said that? Well, maybe that wasn't completely wrong. That's as close to a babyface Jay as you're ever gonna get. And then he called out Hangman Page, because obviously Hangman was meant to face Okada. And he was like calling him out left, right and centre, like, you want a shot at me? No, you're not going to have this title. And I really hope that means that we're going to get Jay versus Hangman Page. Because if you watched New Japan 2018, like when I started, there was an amazing feud between the two for the US title, and they had a great match in the G1. So really, like, it was a phenomenal end to an amazing show. Like, for some, they said it's like probably one of the best shows they've had in a while. And considering Dominion is like, I think the second biggest show in New Japan's calendar, I'm glad that it happened now. Going forward, well, what isn't then? Like, what is not happening? We've obviously got the Road 2 shows coming up, which is going to really focus on the junior division. The Forbidden Door show, which is going to be amazing. Closer to that time as well, when the full card gets released, I'll have a rundown of that. And then the G1. Like, if my life's not hectic enough, like, you're gonna throw all this New Japan stuff in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this show as much as I did. And let me know what you think. Like, let me know on social media, @wrestling_chat on Twitter, or in the comments. What was your favourite match of the night? What do you think is gonna happen going forward? And what did you think of this Jay almost babyface promo? Like, I am still not over this. Remember, like I said, comments, social media. Also, remember to like, hit that share button, and make sure you press subscribe, because the upcoming months for New Japan is actually going to be amazing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you very soon. Bye!